Welcome to For the Record. My name is KH Kitaba, KH for short, and this is just another step on my journey to keep creative. I found that whenever I have an artistic pursuit, the best way to create in that mindset is to stay in touch with the industry I'm looking towards. And that's what this endeavor is, just another way to learn from the contemporary creatives that we have in the game today and build my own game up. Last episode, I went over the tenets I use to critique a record. I learned them from the big homie, their uniqueness, content, bars, delivery, and flow. I feel like I can find those in all of my favorite records. And all in all, I use them myself when I create. This time, we are going over Smino's Luv4Rent, an absolutely amazing record. I think I have about 1,000+ minutes listening to it in 2022. That's what Apple Music said. But definitely excited. Thank you for joining me on this journey. And yeah, let's talk about it. So onto this little grade scale. For uniqueness, I gave Smino 4.5 on the whole record. I think it was absolutely amazing. You know, you have a completely unique artist like Smino. There's never a time where you're listening to a Smino record and you're trying to figure out who else this sounds like. Nah, like that Smino is Smino, and that's why we love him. That's like what makes him dope in all fields. I think we got a little heavy-handed with some of the things that I think we've seen a million times from Smino in certain portions, but at no point did I feel like he really lost any tangibility. If anything, I think he gained comfort with the niche he fits into with this record. Overall, the comfort was very much so there, and he was in his bag in this record, to be honest, like just every step of the way. Completely unique, something that the game needed, and I've listened a million times already. I'm still not burnt on it either. It's on my playlist. But uniqueness 4.5. And then without a doubt, when we get to delivery, probably one of the tenets that I love listening to Smino for, I love trying to learn from, and the time he puts into it is very clear. The man's comfort with his falsetto, with his head voice, he jumps into those upper ranges really smooth, really naturally. He himself just has a very distinct voice, like to the point, this is what I imagine St. Louis people to sound like, you know what I mean? And every time I hear his delivery, and even his flow as well, but like that's the next category. I'm just enamored. 100% give him a 5 on that. There's always kind of a part of me that's listening for that appreciation for sound, like the jazz era. They're like the way the artists would find themselves within the beat, within the instruments that they were being accompanied by, or even they were accompanying, was always amazing, and I feel like that comes through in Smino's delivery really well. It's my favorite thing in the world. 100% a 5 on delivery. And then for flow, I gave him a 3.9. I honestly feel like I should reserve some of the 4s and the upper range of those for the kind of distinctly rap tracks, rap flows, ones that stand out as like, whoa, like you took advantage of the art form fully. I think I kind of said it already. I don't know completely where Smino falls into that for each ear. Mine is kind of an in-between the place for him. So I think his flow kind of came naturally with his delivery, with his lyricism, with his ability to use onomatopoeia as like lyrics and things of that nature. You get these great moments like he talks about bees and then buzz. It's like simple things that are just adding notes and adding like good measure and overall create this very fluid legato flow that I really love. I don't think he needs to be like, you know what I mean, like remarking with Jay-Z type flows, or you know what I mean, like Busta Rhymes type flows, or you know, even some of the early M's, or you know, this kind of shifting constant fluctuation. I think where he kind of flows and hits in smooth is his niche, and it bangs. 3.9. I'd kind of, yeah, again, above average, but still very distinctly a pro in the game for that portion of the tenets. When it comes to bars, Smino 100% is GOAT tier. He comes in with mad double entendre constantly. I like to think if there's a word with 2 meanings, he's going to use both meanings. And it's nuts because he tells almost 2 stories at once with this methodology. It's amazing with the other 2 tenets, his flow and delivery, that just make these just cold, relatable, distinct like I wish to be as smooth and as cool as Smino bars. Like that is top notch. Just yeah, like that's the the smooth, the style of the game that you like really get to like see, appreciate, and love. It's my favorite thing in the world. Um, yeah, 100% give him a 4.2 for bars. Top tier. I'm never disappointed by Smino bars. They're all original. I feel like I'm hearing things that I wouldn't have thought of, words that I wouldn't have thought of after. I'm like, dang, man, why didn't like the brain, or concepts in his bars that I'm just like, man, it's dope you touched on this. I'm glad I can catch up with it here. You know what I mean? In this methodology. Sometimes people will be spitting and their setup, their delivery, their flow won't match it. It won't carry. It won't be the proper vessel for it. But his bars are encased in the dopest face, and it just hit so well. 4.2 for bars. And then on content, I gave my man a 4. I think this was probably the most least experimental of the record. I think his nods at culture were really dope. His nods at communal love were really amazing. The idea of embracing love and manifesting it 100%. His trinkle-ins of spirituality in a really general sense, I think, shows a lot of respect for one's own culture to an extent, but also to like the broader listener, just keeping as many listeners related as possible. He did a really good job of falling in and out of his melodies so that you had tracks where you were bouncing on some. There were some tracks that you could just kind of throw on when it's just you. And then there were some tracks that you can kick it to, type beat. And overall really good black hippie vibes. Something that I've kicked it to, hung out to put people on to a bunch. I did think his voicemail use or just outside conversational pieces were a little heavy-handed in this project, or maybe overall, I'm just not somebody who likes to return to tropes I've already used too often, and I would have to re-listen to his last record. But for sure, Black Swan, we got a couple of them, and I think maybe if you're closer in a circle, which valid, some of these records are just for your circle, some of these records are from the vest for the fam, for you. What I mean? These people. When you hear the voice, it means the most to you. I tried to implement that in my most recent record, and valid 100%. Just felt a little heavy-handed. At certain points I didn't need it, or it didn't completely mesh with the track, broke up something else I was looking for from the track. But all in all, you have really dope moments throughout the videos, and even in the visualizer that he dropped pretty early on, that's kind of just a live action of the album cover. It's super smooth. The appreciation for the pick. I love pick culture. I love seeing the froze. Everything about it is just super black, super dope. Super beautiful. He has a really artistic eye with his lyricism, with his cinematography, and overall just his choice. Man's an amazing. Contextually gave him a 4, and yeah. Overall, the record in the For the Record scale gets a 21.6. This record hit, especially as someone who feels like they have a very stressful relationship with love. Like most of us. And I think he captures how being open and never letting the bad times in it kind of deter you from, expanding or just keeping open to love, keeping love as the frontmost feeling. And that's how I try to live my life, at least. I think, it's the most rewarding. There's so much bad already. There's so much stress, and you might as well lead with love. And if it doesn't go your way, I mean, sucks, but your intentions were pure at the beginning. That's, I think, the premise I got from it, and absolutely well done lyrically, stylistically, flow, delivery, just overall an amazing entry. I think the exact number was 1160 minutes Apple Music said I listened to this record, because it just came in at a perfect time. I feel like music in 2022 was dropping as I needed it, and this record was no different. Slightly outstretches that JID record, but overall, a phenomenal record. 21.6. Thanks again for joining me on this journey to keep creative. You guys keep creative. This is KH Kitaba. Listen to my new record coming out March 26th called Courting Recovery. Thanks again. Have a great day.